All right,
Oh, so you're going from the
so
heart.
I've been trying to tell you guys what my vision is, and finally I found my clone that's doing the same vision, or he found his clone. Whether it doesn't matter what you want to look at. It's a two-way clone. So he's going to explain what we're doing and how we're going to fund this project in a nutshell, and then, you know, if you guys want to get involved, feel free to do so. So Andrew, take it away, buddy.
Okay, so what we have here is the goal is for the headquarters of the Global Unity Project. We're going to, in an open source fashion, we want to build a eco-village in the city, an urban eco-village, designed on feeding and housing 50 people to build, live, work, create, solve problems, and with no bills. So we want to build in a food system, but not necessarily so totally sufficient here, but also partnering with local organic farmers, and but including some storage and a food hub. Also vertical farming, testing growing food in through our long, depressing winters, and involving music and the arts and education in a 1,500-seat theater, and our community kitchen cafe with seating for 300. So there is a business model to this. There's revenue from selling food, from the cafe, from art sales in the gallery for all local artists, and in the theater, and perhaps some rent if we want to build that in. But the main goal is to keep reinvesting in these systems, and we're testing Barrie as we want to make Barrie food and energy self-sufficient, and we're figuring out how many resources we need to do that, and and how fast we can make it happen depends on the crowdsourcing, the crowdsourcing of our minds and ideas and talents through an open source platform, so it's totally transparent, and then crowdfunding, a little bit of money from a lot of different people to fund specific projects.
You guys.
Boom. So it's totally interactive. But actually money's third on the list. We first need people, volunteerism, activism, assembling groups of people and artists, and as we did here. So it's a free open source franchise model of how we got started, and then trying to give that to other groups so that they're at this level, we're all working on the same level. And then whether they want to share the rent and start a shop like we did, or they have a vacant lot, we can build a shop in containers and ship it to them, and they've got Unity Market off the grid, which is the smarter way.
But speaking of containers, not to cut you off, you have a very, very interesting model, a 3D model here, which is a fantastic model. I've seen something like this before on Doomsday Preppers, but nothing so unique. What can you explain this fantastic?
Sure. Well, this is a collaborative design between myself and Jack McAdam, who's a Barrie designer but spent 20 years in Hollywood, and we have an amazing creative mashup going. So we built and designed these models. So the idea is 4 of these buildings in the corner, mainly for housing, and with the goal of 50 people housed, with room for privacy. There's a lot of communal living with the kitchen and the cafe, but you need to have your private space. So designing it in smart so you can break out, because it's so busy here. It's amazing. It's social. It's wonderful, but it's good to have a break.
A little space.
Yeah, and then so the beautiful thing with the containers, you can mail them out of recycled steel containers. So upcycling, you can do all the awnings, everything recycled steel, staircases, and very low cost. You put the money into the insulation and the energy system, so you have no bills.
Awesome, awesome, perfect.
So yeah, and I guess the other main sort of phase 2, we reckon, obviously we know TED Talks, it would be education very focused in the theater, as well as concerts and celebration and theater. But the second phase is for the indoor beach. So this is kind of Canada's depression beater for our long winters. It's
awesome.
sort of the mental health dome. So it's a saltwater pool with real sand beach, waterfalls, and an edible jungle. And it's in a monolithic dome, so there's no posts, it's all open. And we actually want to do it 300-foot diameter. And I forget the square footage, but it's huge.
Okay.
And no posts and beams in it. And we found technology, if we want, we can put an actual surfable wave in there, so you can actually surf indoors in Canada with food going around you, bananas, pineapples, and on the upscale, on the side of the dome, you can have tiered gardens. So you can section off different humidity zones. So you can actually grow pine. You can grow like coffee trees. You can
awesome.
We got to test some of these. You know, how self-sufficient can we be?
Yeah,
and it's worth testing it, right?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
The whole, of course, the humidity, the energy system of the whole system, you know, designing it smart so you don't have the bills, and it's more, well, on a business model, it's more revenue that could be invested back in. But the main advantage is most of us, we're not obviously in this for the money. We want to create, we want to have access to resources, we want to, you know, live a healthy life. So if we have the staff, it's mainly room and board that we're being compensated with, and access to an amazing shop, amazing studio, all the different aspects. And then of course we still need some cash in the real world, but we won't need the same kind of salaries as all these other agencies that we're seeing. It's so top heavy. The salaries are increasing 3% a year, and it's just totally not sustainable. We're putting all the money into the front lines, so we're giving food away. And even without all this, to date, we've given away over 35,000 pounds of vegetables that we've grown with volunteers.
Awesome.
So imagine how many people, and it's just making food abundant. It's not about the money. It's giving food if you're hungry, if you have, So we can keep going, but I know we're going to be.
No, it's cool. So, no, it's cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep you guys up to date. We're gonna on when the Indiegogo campaign goes out. It's just like a Kickstarter campaign, just a little bit different. So you know, in soon time, I won't have it. I'll put it in the description below, or you can find it at soulfoodfarming.org, or you can find it at
backtobasicscanada.com. On our homepage, you can click the Global Unity Project link to the Google Drive document.
And is it back to basics or
TO, back to basics with a TO, backtobasicscanada.com.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna do some more videos today. Word, Soul Food Farming Team. Yeah.